Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Today I want to discuss the JEDI contract, what happened with Microsoft, now Amazon is in the running, as well as a few other companies, and what you need to know as an investor and just to kind of get a lay of the land. So the day of this recording, as I'm looking at the date, is Wednesday the 7th, July 7th, 2021. So yesterday, this news dropped that the JEDI contract was going to be canceled for Microsoft, and I believe it was a $10 billion contract, which ain't good, and that's a lot of money to go down the drain. But there is some good news for Microsoft. So let's talk about what the JEDI contract is, what's going to happen next, and what you may want to consider as an investor. All right, so the JEDI contract, I'm going to read the acronym definition so I don't get it wrong. So it's a Joint Enterprise Defense Infrastructure. What this essentially is saying, and what it was supposed to do, is take the Department of Defense, essentially the Pentagon, and put a lot of their stuff in the cloud, which makes their operations a lot easier according to the Department of Defense. Something they needed to do, something they wanted to do, and Microsoft ended up winning that contract. Now, in most government spaces, you have to bid. So they put out a request for proposal, they put it out there, and all these companies and organizations get to bid and say, look, we can do this, and the government picks the one or ones that they like. They ended up picking Microsoft in 2019, $10 billion contract, and boom, everything was supposed to be set to go. Except that Amazon, who is the biggest player in the cloud computing space, said, look, we don't think that contract was fair because at the time, the president at that point in time did not like Amazon, and particularly didn't like the founder, Jeff Bezos, who also owns the Washington Post. The Washington Post was critical of that particular president, and they said, look, this wasn't fair to us. Y'all really kind of, jaded us out of $10 billion and just gave it to Microsoft because Microsoft wasn't us. That was the case. And a retort to that, or a fix to it, however you want to revise that, revision to it, I'll say that. The current administration says, look, well, we're going to cancel the contract and we're going to redo it and have multiple vendors, which most people are already speculating they're just going to split it in half, perhaps, maybe 5 to Microsoft, 5 to Amazon. But it also opens the door to other companies like Google, who initially bid it but withdrew their bid based on company values, what they said. You've got Oracle, and you also have IBM, as well as some smaller companies. So all these companies are now in play again for this JEDI contract. But again, most people are already looking at Amazon and Microsoft. So here's, as I just hit the other microphone, sorry about that. So here's what you need to know as an investor. This does not change my opinion at all for either company, because they're in my long-term holdings already. Been holding them for a while now, especially Microsoft. Y'all know how I feel about Microsoft, and they still gonna be here, right? Like that's just a phrase. They're gonna be here. They're not going nowhere. Both of them. Okay, so if the JEDI contract goes through for both of these particular players, you're gonna profit in any situation, right? But the other thing too is, don't forget, like, this is not a time to say, oh my God, let me sell Microsoft. Microsoft still has Windows 11 coming out. Microsoft still has a $20 billion contract with the Army, and there has not been, from what I can tell, any impropriety or risk of that falling through. Doesn't mean that it won't, but I don't see anything that's been in the headlines that says, look, this may also be in danger. But Microsoft still has that. Amazon is still Amazon, right? So there's no rhyme or reason as to why this would be a panic sell for either of these. This would be on my core holdings list. When we talked about the 5 stocks for new investors, this is why these 2 companies were on there. And I would just continue to see DCA, dollar cost averaging, on a regular basis. This don't sway me at all. It was a head scratcher at first. That I read into it, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's fair. If you are the executive branch and you say, I don't like the CEO of this company, and I believe the quote was, let me see if I can find it. The quote was, screw Amazon, like, from the president. That would make me sue, right? If I'm trying to get a contract and somebody says, screw my company, I'm gonna be upset, and I'm gonna sue, which is what they did, and then they may get a chunk of this money. The other thing, which some security analysts and vendors and people in this space say, that it does make sense to kind of split up a contract of this size because you don't just have one vendor. I talked about this for, I believe it was Krispy Kreme, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it wasn't Krispy Kreme. Yeah, scratch the Krispy Kreme part. But I'm thinking about donuts clearly. But you don't always want to have just one supplier. So if you're selling T-shirts or something, you don't just want to be able to get T-shirts from one person, because if that person is sick, if they have some delays on their end, then you can't make no T-shirts. You can't make no T-shirts. You can't make no money. So in this case, they say that it might be better to actually split the contract in with two vendors anyway, so that you can still get what you need to get done in case one of them falls through or there's an issue at one of those companies. You can still get what you need. So that's in a nutshell what the JEDI contract is and what went on the other day. Again, not a concern for me. I'm not going to listen to the noise. Amazon did pop and did go up pretty significantly. I think they're near record highs at that point in time. So by the time you're watching this, I don't know where the stock is, but it's up, and it don't matter because I'm gonna buy it anyway. So the company did respond. The stock did respond in a positive manner. So we'll see what happens. But again, I'm buying both. This is one of those situations where I don't have to pick either or. It's not one of those versus situations where I need to sit down and say, well, I'm picking this one because I think this. It's like, nah, you probably want both, because they still are in different categories to a degree. And companies like this do intersect in some ways, but I don't see Microsoft at all being in that consumer category, which is what Amazon is known for. Whereas I want to say Google, but whereas Microsoft is mostly known for software, cloud, and all that kind of stuff, Amazon is more known for shopping and cloud and its streaming services and all the other things that it does. So that's it for me. Super quick, super simple. Make sure you click the links below. Make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. Let's continue to grow the channel. And that's it for me. Talk to you guys later.